What up, party people? I figured I'd follow up yesterday's worst solo travel day with one of my best solo travel days. And when I talk about solo travel, sometimes it's not like an entire 3-week trip. Sometimes it's just a day or two or just a portion of the trip. So remember that solo travel can always also be a day. And that's what this day was. And it started in Scotland. I left Scotland on a train. I want to say it was a overnight train. And I get into London about, gosh, it was early. I want to say 8 in the morning, 7 in the morning, 8 in the morning. And my flight out wasn't until that evening. And I had planned this. However, when I got to the train station in London, I I was so tired, a bit overwhelmed, and having that, not regret, but why did I plan this day like this? I'm exhausted. What was I thinking? But I ended up putting my luggage in storage, which is a thing in a lot of countries, um, not in the United States. So that's something I feel like the United States, it would make it a lot easier if we had something like that here. However, we don't. So I put my luggage in storage and I decided to take the subway to Piccadilly Circus. And I get there and I'm standing there kind of like, okay, what's the big deal? Like for some reason I thought it was gonna be a lot bigger. I guess I was thinking New York City, Times Square, so I was thinking it was bigger and it wasn't as big. And so I also realized, okay, I'm starving. I haven't eaten in probably 12 hours at this point. I'm tired, I'm overwhelmed. I'm like, okay, I think first things first, let's get some food. I just start walking down a street, no street in particular, and I find the first cafe I see, sit down, have coffee, breakfast, and really took the time in that moment to just observe. So I was watching people walk up and down the street, um, kind of just seeing what they do day to day. Nothing fancy, nothing big, just noticing, just being present. And once I felt good, I decided, well, while I was noticing all this stuff going on, I realized, oh, the big red bus, the big red bus. I had seen it pass a couple times while I was eating, and I'm thinking, oh, hello, I'll just hop on and off the big red bus all day. Easy, perfect. Like I can see all the sights with the big red bus. So I start walking in the direction that I saw the last one go. And I'm walking and thinking, okay, I'll find their next stop and I'll hop on and start the tour basically. And as I'm walking, I'm thinking, it is such a beautiful day. This is so cool. The streets in Europe are quite different from those in the US, so it's just cool to walk around and see the differences. And I finally get to the next red bus stop. There was no bus there yet, but I saw all these signs and they're pointing to, the palace, Big Ben, et cetera, et cetera. So I'm thinking, and then it had like how far away it was, and I'm sure it was in kilometers. Uh, but just some easy math. I'm like, huh, that's not that far away. And oh, and I think it also had the minutes, like how long it takes to get there. So it's like, 15 minutes and 25 minutes, and everything seemed and was quite close together. So I decided, I'm just going to walk it. Instead of waiting for the bus, I'm going to walk it and just started walking to the next stop. And as the day progressed and I kept seeing, the big red bus stop and thinking I should get on one. And then I'm like, nah, I'll just walk to the next one. And it was so nice to just be out in London, walking the streets, seeing the sights, and doing it at my own pace. I wasn't with anyone else, so I didn't have to take care of anyone else's hunger or crabbiness or I don't know, like difference of which way to go next. It was just this smooth, easy day. And as I got towards the end, uh, on my way back to the train station, I just realized how freeing solo travel is because you aren't in a structured itinerary. So you can literally pick the day as it comes. Sometimes I'll have an itinerary. However, I allow space to change and pivot when weather changes or when I get to a place and I'm a little underwhelmed. I'm like, oh, I mean, it looked cool in the brochure, but no, this isn't for me. I'll move on to the next. And so it's really freeing and so exciting to just go with the flow, to just do the day at your own pace, at your own leisure. And I really, really want to emphasize that solo travel is one of my favorite things. And I always tell people though, if this is your first time ever traveling, especially to a far off land, I highly suggest doing a group travel or something called a solo-ish travel, where you're in smaller groups or sometimes even by yourself, but you have a little bit of an itinerary. You at least have like transportation and probably hotels built in. And that's really nice just because it gives you like a little bit of structure and you don't have to worry about that part, but you can still kind of meander through your day and choose what you want to see and what you want to do. Um, One company I just started affiliating with is called G Adventures. They actually do group trips and solo-ish trips. That's where I got the name solo-ish, which I love. And so I'm gonna put the link in the description if that's something that catches your eye. I highly, highly suggest just checking out some of their destinations, their itineraries, and please always start with what you're comfortable with. I told my worst story yesterday and my best story today. So it's really all about comfort and doing it at your own pace. And I highly suggest, like I said, group travel first and then going into solo travel. And I also am going to include the link for my Stan store because I do offer travel clarity calls. So if you're ever indecisive on which place to go first or don't know much about a certain country and you want to someone to help you kind of like navigate logistics or just questions, anything like that, I offer travel clarity calls. So you can hop on Stanstore and book me there. Uh and yeah, I hope that hearing about my easy peasy London day inspires you to really take a day, even if it's close to home, and just go explore somewhere new, by yourself and enjoy just being present and being on your own time and your own itinerary. It's super, super exciting, super freeing. So, talk to you guys next time.